My name is Kempes, and I'm here with...
Youssef Deyab. Appreciate the opportunity. Glad you reached out and we're able to have this discussion open. It's the interview they don't want us to have.
They don't want you to see this, but guess what? You're all going to see this. All right, so let's just get straight into it. Have the Edmonton police been trying to suppress you for criticizing Israel?
100%. So not just the Edmonton Police, the Edmonton Police Commission, as they're the oversight body.
When did this start?
So this started back in March when we found out that the self-admitted steroid user, Chief Warren Driechel, went to Israel.
Warren Driechel goes to Israel, the public catches wind of it, then what?
So then we went to the public input sessions, starting back in March, asking, what was he doing there? What was he learning?
Yes.
Why would he go there? Of all the places when it's committing genocide.
Yeah.
And the UN recognizes this. And we've been stonewalled by Matt Barker, who's the executive director, who acts as the medium between the Edmonton Police Commission and Edmonton Police Service.
Yeah.
The Police Commission body, which is comprised of like Ben Henderson as the chair,
Yeah.
Karen Principe, Annie Stevenson, Anna Marie Lambert, and a few other individuals.
Yes. Okay. And then when did you start realizing that, okay, they are not trying to let me speak about this openly?
So what ended up happening actually is that they've had the Jewish Federation, which is actually, it's a Zionist organization in Edmonton, come and speak. And they literally brought an Israeli settler to the meeting to speak. And at that meeting, the Israeli settler was...
At this Edmonton Police Commission meeting?
That's correct.
Okay.
For the public
When was this?
This was in May. So
Okay.
I already went there twice before. But the May one was when became very challenging.
Heated.
Heated. So you had an Israeli settler essentially go there and state that Israel is the only country in the world who's actually knows policing along ethnic, religious lines and that stuff, which is a fabrication of and shows you what Zionism is, which is indoctrination.
Because they always say Israel is the most moral army, right?
Yes, and part of that, but it also, so with Zionism, it essentially erases history.
Yes.
And replaces it with a made-up narration.
Yeah.
So when she's stating this, Israel wasn't found until 1948 upon the bones and bloods of Palestinians. And in Edmonton, you had Muslims, Jews, Christians, Ukrainians, Lebanese. You had a whole variety of different ethnic faiths. The first mosque in North America is built here in Edmonton.
Yes.
And this is in the 1930s, before the creation of Israel. So the audacity for someone to sit at the Edmonton Police Commission and allow her to say that and not correct her, nor stop her from saying that, that Israel is the only country that knows how to do this and this is new to Edmonton policing, is absolutely a disaster and grotesque.
So let me pause for a second.
Sure.
Warren Dreichel's whole thing was, so actually I went to Israel because we're learning these advanced policing techniques that no one else knows how to do. And I think it's important as a police commissioner to bring Israeli techniques into Edmonton.
So here's the pushback with that.
Yes.
Statistically, Israel is by far worse. So they did a study, 61% of men, and this is in the Jerusalem Post,
Yes.
Israel do not consider rape as an issue. 61%.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's in the Jerusalem Post.
Okay.
They did that. The second is when you start looking at
Rape against Palestinians?
No, rape against other Israeli.
Just in general.
Yeah, never mind the right to rape, which their chief rabbi for the army said they essentially have that right.
Yeah.
They have the right to rape Palestinians.
Okay.
We saw Palestinians actually be raped to death, and instead of the Israeli society coming out and saying, "Hey, this is what's going on with our society," they actually put him on TV and made him a star. So
I saw that. They put him with the shiesty on, right?
That's right.
Yes. In that video, they're it's four soldiers with riot shields and they're covering the inmate while they
rape him to death, and sodomize him. This is Israeli society. Everyone keeps saying it's Netanyahu. This is what's being taught in that society.
Okay.
It's they're not gonna like this part of the interview, and that's why we said they're not gonna like this interview and they don't want us to see it. That's their tactics. So the pushback on here is statistically, We have a better crime rate clearance in Canada. We actually have one better even for children, pedophilia, molestation, all that. We're actually superior to them.
Than Israel?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in Canada as a whole, you know, whether we want to frame it like that, we actually have a better rating of using lethal force than Israel.
Yes.
Right? Which is a completely other issue.
Yes.
So statistically and data point, which is part of their strategy from their strategy and policy playbook, that essentially Israel fails on every single level of that.
Yes.
So number one, the data doesn't prove the idea behind this trip. Number two, what can he learn? Well, let's talk about that because I think that's a very important point. Israeli technology from CoreSight. So Edmonton has signed, the Edmonton Police have signed up Edmonton to be one of the first cities in the world to use Exxon and CoreSight AI data to like assess and surveil us. Here's the issue with this. The issue with this is that CoreSight was used in Gaza to kill people. And there's many mistakes in CoreSight that when you read the data behind it, the reporting, all that kind of stuff, it also has problems distinguishing people of color, whole bunch of array of issues. So even from the advancement point of talking about technology, again, he's wrong. Mm-hmm. The third part of this is we are signatory to the UN. Why is this important? There's a couple of major reasons. The Zionist organizations in the world right now that you can see them trying to unfund ARWA and like the UN and all these bodies that the UN has. And the reason being is because it removes the right to return. The issue with this is this actually conflates, challenges the idea of what the UN represents in terms of even the indigenous here in Canada. Because it was the UN stating, hey, there needs to be reconciliation in Canada with the indigenous. Removing that idea of the UN actually also hurts the indigenous here. This is a major issue. So under international law, I want to just go high level and then we'll go down to a local level. We are signatory to the UN. The UN and Canada have recognized certain parts of Palestine as occupied territories. Warren Driechel went there. He was 5 kilometers, and I need people to understand how sick and depraved.
Do you know which city, like which area?
It's called Serdot, which is
Serdot.
Yeah, Serdot.
Okay.
Right? It's not. It's they call it proper Israel, but really it was an occupied city. So he was 5 kilometers from there, and that's where he was 5 kilometers from there, while Gaza was being bombed, while the genocide is taking place, and while children were starving, and he was stuffing his face, in my opinion, doing the absolute worst things, like doing that tour while it's there. So to say like, well, I didn't visit anything, no, you were beside a genocide zone. The second part of that is Jeremy Appel, in his findings through the Access to Information Act, stated that when he found the itinerary, he went to illegal settlements in the West Bank. He met with a unit that carries out extrajudicial killings. A person named Kelsey did a really good video on it, literally showing the Palestinians unarmed and being shot, like execution style. That's who Warren Driechel met with. So those are 3 major issues, besides like just even thinking like it's relative to Canada to go there. This isn't the first thing, and we have to understand what we are uncovering with this story. And if there's something for you to walk away from today and the importance of it, this is it. There's a body called the Major City Chiefs Association, MCCA. They essentially act like an APAC, but for police forces. So they take people from across.
What is it called?
The Major City Chiefs Association.
Major City Chiefs Association.
MCCA.
Okay. And they act like a police union group representing a bunch of different. No,
they act like a lobby group.
Okay.
So think of APAC.
Pay for the interests of the police.
Exactly. By CoreSight, by Exxon, by lobby groups. So now this is a way to circumvent our own security system in Canada and throughout our own policing.
It's like a loophole.
It is. It's 100% a loophole. Mm-hmm. Because guess what happens? They paid for that trip. What do you think they wanted in exchange? CoreSight is literally on the website as their major sponsor. Mm-hmm. He put it in the ATIA. It clearly states he met with Company C.
Can anyone read this ATIA?
No, so ATIA, the Jeremy Appel's, yes, and the one I have. So both of us filed. His is much more thorough. Mine is a little bit not as thorough, as they did heavy redactions. And actually, this is something the Supreme Court of Canada just stated about the Edmonton Police, is because they like to redact and censor too much. And we can get into a whole other video about why they do that. But yes, so Jeremy Appel has a story called The Scoop. He directly quotes that. As long as we give him credit, he said I can share it with anybody so you guys can have access to review it. So that would be the only condition, is we have that integrity to give him credit. Mine, I'll give to anybody. And I think it's very important because in mine, you see the collaboration between Edmonton Police Service, the Edmonton Police Commission, and the Jewish Federation of Edmonton, and the CJA, which is another Israeli lobby group, all collaborating to call us, Edmontonians, extremists for calling out Warren Dreichel's trip to Israel. So you have a collaborated effort again with another lobby group. So now you have the MCCA, and then you have the Israeli lobby group collaborating.
MCCA and the Israeli lobby group based in Edmonton?
So the MCCA, yes, because they haven't directly come out and attacked us. They won't even answer our emails. But yes, specifically the ones in Edmonton, the Jewish Federation of Edmonton, and CJA is a national lobby group for them, and B'nai B'rith is the other one. There's like 10 of them. That's what they do. They start up all these little lobby groups, and it manufactures like this perception that everybody's on board supporting Israel. And it's not. It's literally not.
I would say this is probably the lowest that their I guess public reputation has been. Yes,
no, 100%.
In a while.
So they just did a study, I posted it, I think it's, Canadians have, and it still baffles me, there's 22% that have a favorable view of Israel.
22%?
22%, so much better than America, because we're still, what is that, like 78%? Have an unfavorable view of Israel. Obviously, it should be much higher than that.
Yeah.
One of the benefits, though, is you saw this week. I don't know if you saw the video, but I asked Ninshi about his photo with the Israeli ambassador. Because of that, there was a fallout within the NDP because people like Janice Irwin, Sharif Haji, Heather.
Yes, I saw. What did he say? Something. It was like he was associated with people that were supporters of Israel, or.
Well, it's literally like being associated with a criminal, right?
Yes.
Because like so that ambassador, and I think people.
Do you know the name of the ambassador?
Yeah.
Then she met up with.
He didn't. So to be fair to him, he didn't meet up with him, but he did meet him.
Yes.
But he was wearing like a tag, like Israel, like literally, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really. And this is nothing private. I specifically said this to Nishi when I met him on White Ave. Is that there's two problems here. One, you look incompetent. That you would meet someone who's a criminal and has genocide on his hands.
Yes.
And if you didn't know that, what news are you reading? So there's another incompetency. So he's caught between the two. So he put out a statement, Ninshi, and I think it's important to understand this. He's doing a lot of double talking in there, and I'm calling him out directly because of this. He equates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism in his statement. Very dangerous for the Jewish, like right now, the independent Jewish voices, like posted one of my videos that I made, right? Because they're in support of what I'm saying, that we have to have that clear.
There are many Jews that support Palestine.
100%.
So kind of equating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism is just a cop-out. That's some bullshit.
Well, it's 100% bullshit, and I like the word you're using, because that's where now when you look at B'nai, you look at the ambassador, they are trying to push the IHRA, which is a policy of conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, when they're totally a mismatch. Like, in fact, I would say if you're a Zionist, you are anti-Semitic because of what it does to the Jewish community, who are like, no, I don't want to be associated with genocide. I don't want to be associated with killing 22,000 kids. I don't want to be associated with the right to rape, with the policy of mowing the lawn. Like, there are so many things wrong with that. But that's what Zionists want you to believe. And that, I personally, the Karen Lebovich, in my opinion, who sits on the Edmonton Police Commission, is a hardcore Zionist. And she...
What's her name?
Karen Lebovich.
Karen Lebovich.
Yeah, I believe that's how you say
Okay,
it. I'm very bad with names, so like after
you're
people,
good.
so
Karen Lebovich.
So she was actually, I believe, a city councilor as well in the West End. There's a park named after her. She got an award from Beneth, which is the largest advocacy lobby group for the Israelis in Canada, Zionists in Canada, for being an emissary. Okay.
What's an emissary?
So an emissary is someone, imagine like you're an ambassador on behalf of this organization or this claim.
Okay.
And essentially it is for what they're claiming is Jewish rights, but it's actually Zionist rights.
Yeah.
She sits on the Edmonton City or on the Edmonton Police Commission. So that in itself is a conflict when you have somebody going to Israel and I'm being censored and I'm not allowed to go speak till 2027, which is a whole other part.
Yes.
But she's sitting on there, so how can I be treated fair by her?
No, you can't.
Anna Marie Lambert is ex-CSIS. She also sits on the Edmonton Police Commission. Imagine asking yourself, like, let's get the CIA, literally the CIA, to sit on like a board of civilian oversight. She can be disassociated with it and say like, oh, I don't work there anymore. I don't know. There's always contract work, there's always advising, and we see she did EPCOR's utility security, Kate's Group, which is another Zionist organization within Edmonton. Same thing. In my opinion, this is very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Damn, that was a lot to cover all in that one go.
That's why we got to do a live stream, and I think what's really important is the youth. Like, look, guys, you are moving towards more of a state police state. That's no over exaggeration. The Edmonton Police have a $600 million budget. Where's the accountability in that? Give up $200 million of that budget. If you can't do it on $600 million, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And also as a city our size, we are the second most lethal city in Canada when using force. So that's the Edmonton Police using force against its own citizens.
Yeah.
That's after Toronto. So that's before Calgary, that's before Vancouver. We are the second most lethal. That's scary. And right now you saw, like I just got that phone call from one of the women at City Hall.
Being followed in stalk.
Being followed in stalk by 6 police officers.
Yes.
Our women, our children. Like for me as a dude, what it is. But when we talk about the most vulnerable, like women and children, should not be scared of the Edmonton Police. That's obscene. But that's the behavior of the Edmonton Police Commission, showing that they'll silence us for Israel. That's the behavior of the Edmonton Police Services, who would love nothing more than to adhere to Israeli policy, which we're seeing. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. There's a lot more to unpack, but I don't know, like I don't want to also bore you and your followers. I appreciate this, but I think it's important that I'm very honored and very humbled to have you interview me, and I sincerely mean that, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of challenges to what we're doing, and it's you guys who are clinging to justice and the idea that we have rights and we have freedoms to help the youth mobilize for this. If you guys don't mobilize for this, you won't know about these rights, and that's what happens. That's what they're hoping, is that as they slowly, nobody comes in and says, I'm occupying you. Like it never happened with that even in Palestine. What did the Palestinians do? They said, no, man, there's a Holocaust happening in Europe. We need a place to come sit with us. We'll teach you how to till they didn't know how to do the ground. It's different plants.
They welcomed them. The settlers with open arms.
They did, and then look at the betrayal.
The Nakba.
Yeah, the Nakba, exactly. So when you start talking about these things and people say, well, no, you're crazy. It's like, no, man. Go to their websites. Like I literally did a video today of the CEO of the Jewish Federation going on TV and literally saying like, it's making us unsafe and this, but they're getting.
What is specifically making them unsafe? Speaking out against.
Well, Michael
Israel?
Gantz, the counselor, he put a statement up about the genocide.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like the UN has said, it's a war against children. At one point in time, it was a child dying every hour in Gaza because of malnutrition, because of being killed, bombed, starved, and never mind the kids that are like amputees. I want people to think about the psychological effects on those children too. They haven't slept in 3 years. Every day they're being bombed. Every day they're being starved. Like think about like when we sleep, you close the door, you turn off the lights. These people are living in tents. Airplanes going over them at supersonic speed, then bombing them. Like, you're not going to be normal. So think of those kids not having sleep. Like I have a few kids. I'm pretty blessed, and when they don't sleep at night, it's tough on the family. Never mind 3 year running, and people forget that. So when you start looking at this, when she's saying, well, we're making the city, and me in particular, because I've actually like cropped her like stalking me on Facebook. I could share the pictures after. But you have to know, like, she's out for me, right?
Yeah.
And the Jewish Federation, like, they're waiting for me to screw up, and what it is. But literally, so she went on it was, I forgot, Global News, another legacy media Zionist organization that won't interview us, will not bring this to the youth, will not bring these issues to the forefront, because again, they're in line with Zionist talking points. She went on there saying we're making the community unsafe by the way we're talking about international affairs. Quite literally, I just made a video of her getting debriefed by the Israeli army in Edmonton. So let's remove Israel from the picture. Let's say me and a bunch of Arabs, my brothers, are sitting together, and you guys find out that I'm being debriefed by the Saudi Arabian army. Does that really sound like?
Sounds like foreign influence.
That's pretty freaking reckless. So that's on their Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Anybody can go look. I've been taking pictures of their stuff.
Yeah.
The other one is there's another one where they have.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
keep going.
Yeah,
you're good.
Sorry. So and the other one is Mike Elliott.
Wait, actually, hold on. Let me just pause real quick. 2, 1, go. Okay, yeah. You said Michael Elliott.
So Michael Elliott is another.
Who is he?
So he's one of the city councilors. Now
in Edmonton.
Yeah, in Edmonton.
Michael Elliott, city councilor.
I can't emphasize how, in my opinion, and we have to use my opinion.
Okay.
Dangerous. His mentality, behavior, and actions are.
So, why?
We're going to get to each one of those. So one, he's associated with the the Jewish National Fund, GNF. The issue with that is they've actually lost their charitable status because they were building illegal settlements in Palestine. And he's associated with their dinners.
So wait, hold on. So Michael Elliott is associated with the GNF, and they are building illegal settlements in Gaza.
Not Gaza, West Bank.
Okay, in the West Bank.
But, okay. And when I mean by association, I mean like dinners and fundraisers and going there and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to be clear on that. So yes, he is associated with them. They lost their charitable status because of their illegal builds. That's a red flag. 2, he's also parroting the same comments as the Jewish Federation of Edmonton and attacking Michael Gantz, even though he was helping and at the dinners at those fundraisers by just being there. Okay? 3, he's ex-police, which again shows you why the Jewish Federation is positioning him to run for mayorship. Why? Because you have somebody who would ignore us, because obviously his loyalties and his behavior indicate that he would by far support going to Israel, the Jewish lobby, and so on, or the Zionist lobby, sorry. When I say Jewish lobby, it's because in the name tag, like I hope someone from the Jewish community actually like sues them for using like Jewish Federation of Edmonton. It should be Zionist Federation of Edmonton, because I believe that in itself is a danger to the Jewish community, because not all Jews believe in Zionism, and it's reckless and dangerous. So Michael Elliott, he's also, there's a video where he's acting as a police officer, escorting some of them who were protesting against Warren Driechel. So there's an issue there. Is he a police officer acting as a counselor, or is he a counselor acting as a police officer? Mm-hmm. There's an issue with that. He needs to remember his place. Those are people, those are women who specifically were calling out a behavior of the Edmonton police chief, Warren Driechel, going to Israel, and then standing by it, and like, yeah.
Just not a good look.
Terrible.
Awful look.
No, terrible look. And
yeah.
I think one of the things too, like, you know, there's no hiding it or anything. Like, you know, I'm north side my whole life, born and raised here. The Muslim community, I need them to actually organize and mobilize against this. And it isn't just about Muslims, and it isn't about Christians, and it isn't about Jewish, and it's not about black, white. It's about injustice versus justice. It's about the people who support genocide versus those who don't support genocide. And I think that's what's a very important thing to be looking at, because everyone's trying to make it like we're lefty loonies and righty tighties or whatever the case may be. Really,
yeah.
But it isn't. It's about top-down politics and bottom-up politics. Do these politicians do it? Number one, as Edmontonians, do you guys feel safe spending $600 million a year on these guys? Like, do you feel safer at your home? That's a question the public needs to answer. I don't. I've had my house, my car broken into a couple times. I was assaulted. Some guy had a, road. Maybe cut that part out, but yeah, I don't know, scrap it. Yeah.
Well, no. You bring up a fair point. Edmonton's police budget is $600 million, but from all of my stories that I've heard from my close personal friends, it's a lot of the police is kind of useless. The police does not
100%.
help in any way at all.
They are hiring, and this is important to understand because they're messaging. They're hiring ex-Global TV executives and also, what do you call it?
They're hiring Global TV executives, ex-Global TV?
Yeah, executives and anchors and journalists. Not just from them, from other, I think the other one was CTV.
Like to kind of act as like the spokespeople for the EPS?
That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
That's exactly, so a lot, and this
focus more on the brand.
Exactly. You get it, 100%. So think about it this way. You're paying maybe 5-6 people there, and let's say it comes out to $1.4 million a year in a budget for, why do you need that much publicity to curb your image? It's because you got a crappy image. When you have to spend that kind of money, and this goes back to another issue, there's so many issues. It goes back to another issue of why news anchors in Edmonton are scared to challenge the Edmonton police. In my opinion, I think there was her name's Sid Ryan, I believe. She was at some of these police commission things. The only ones who got recognition was the Zionist Federation of Edmonton, the Jewish CEO. Nobody else, because they don't want to show that this is like there's distinct voices against this. Watch Bear Claw. I believe it's Bear Claw. They're on Facebook. Watch how they're treated, pushed by the EPS, like just obscene behavior. Enoch, which is...
what is Bear Claw and Enoch?
So Bear Claw is a group of indigenous that are recording like kind of what's happening with like the homeless situation downtown and saying like Edmonton police, instead of like stopping crime, guess what they're doing? Taking blankets. Displacing
Wait,
people.
they're taking blankets from homeless people?
Yeah. Like you just...
This sounds like you're making it up.
I know.
That's crazy.
No, $600 million a year budget. Enoch,
to remove the blankets from homeless people.
Enoch is the indigenous organization. Just they have the, what do you call it, the casino and all that jive on the east side. So Warren Driechel was there taking pictures with them. I emailed Enoch saying, hey, like I submitted to the UN for him to be a potential witness. Like that's the Francesca Albanese. That's how much proof there is that, and they acknowledged, the UN acknowledged my email, specifically that office.
What did they say?
Well, they're going to put the files in front of them. I'm going to follow up with them probably in a month, and I hope, look, at the end of the day, at least if his name is on there, it's a start to when we have to start prosecuting these people who took part.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
All right. Well, clearly, the Edmonton police and also kind of Edmonton city infrastructure with the EPCOR thing, they're really pushing to bring Israeli technology, bring Israeli policing techniques into Edmonton. So my concern is, do you think the whole point of that is just so that they can kind of suppress any pro-Palestinian sentiment?
Well, you know what? That's a really good point. We do have one of the largest Muslim communities in North America.
In Edmonton?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's like, I think there's about 100,000 or 80,000, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence. That's me. And
is the CoreSight AI going to be used to scan some Edmontonian's face and be like, let me check in the database. Oh, they actually said something critical of Israel. They're guilty. Boom, put them in jail.
I don't know that. I can't speak to that because they won't release any of the information of the contracts, which is another problem with oversight. This shows you that they're rubber stamping everything. But ultimately, at the end of the day, yeah, I do. I think we have the Israelification of Edmonton. I truly believe that's what's happening. When you give up your critical infrastructure like water metering, your policing services, your technologies.
That's all being imported from Israel?
Imported, trained, taught,
and then these organizations are almost like finding and suppressing people that are critical of Israel.
I showed you, like, you can watch that video of literally they're getting debriefed by the Israeli army.
Was it something particularly that you had said in the Edmonton Police Commission meeting that they were like, that is not okay?
I think it was a few things. One, and I tried to state, like, as mothers and fathers, how can you, like, allow him to go to Israel? So I was trying to see if they're, they're human beings.
Right.
So I think calling out their humanity was an issue for them. The second is me referring to and saying that Warren Driechel is a self-admitted steroid user. And that's, no, really, it's important because it shows the process of even hiring and also promoting is broken. Like, a person like that shouldn't be around kids. A person like that, in my opinion, is not a role model for EPS. Let him still be a officer, but he's making $315,000 a year, right? Go ahead.
So Warren Driechel, the police commissioner, the head honcho of Edmonton.
Ben Henderson would be the chair.
Oh,
yeah, it's separate, right?
It's separate.
Yeah. So you have the police chief, and then you have
police chief,
and then you have the commission. So the commission head is Ben Henderson.
Ben Henderson.
Exactly. So he's the one who can remove Warren Driechel.
Okay.
So Ben Henderson is the problem too, because Ben Henderson specifically.
They both he's enabling the chief.
That's exactly it. They're not providing oversight. Like that's the whole problem, right? And this is where you start to have people like who are abolitionists, right? Is that the word? Who want to abolish everything, because they're seeing the mechanisms right now not working in policing. For me, I don't think it's ever been there. So how can you hold someone accountable if no one's holding them accountable? So we really need to get back to that, to be like, no, hold on a second. There is something wrong when you have, I think Matt Barker's been there since for 10 years as executive director or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that. And you have the same people in that commission and the same same issues keep arising. But I do believe there might be an international crime if he did meet, and we did know that he went to the West Bank illegal settlement. So there's some area for that, some grace. Not grace for him, but in terms of what I'm saying.
So Warren Driechel, police chief of Edmonton, avid steroid user, goes to Israel, meets up with some pretty much criminals at an Israeli settlement while Gaza is actively being bombed. Let me just recap that.
Bombed, starved, kids dying, 5 kilometers away from it. Yes.
Comes back,
and just the tidbit, he's a self-admitted steroid user.
Where did he admit that?
In the journal, you can read it. It was between 2007 and 2012, I believe it was. There was a big, it was actually a big thing, like the officers, and he says every day he regrets it, but there's times that he looks like he might rage. I don't know. My opinion.
You think he's still on the juice?
I can't speculate that, but I mean, like I said, the behavior of the police chief itself is the problem. Like, if you have a mentality that I'm going to use steroids in the past to get ahead or to act more macho, then go on TV and be like, no, I'm a macho man, and on top of that, I'm okay going to Israel. What do I need to apologize? It's the behavior of him. No one's held him accountable.
So he did the steroids before he became a police officer?
No, it was during. It was during. Yeah.
So, I don't know, Edmonton, you tell me, our police chief is doing steroids while being a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Go for the gains. I support that. Go get your gains, but what example, what's the precedent that is set for Edmonton,
Yeah, and I think that's very fair, man. So recap, man, is just honestly, make sure your voices are heard. You guys got email and Instagram. Interact with these city councilors. Mike Elliott, you got to ask him, man, where his loyalties lie when he's heavily involved with the Jewish Federation of Edmonton and the Jewish National Fund. Call for the resignation of Chief Warren Driechel and for Ben Henderson and the Edmonton Police Commission. If they're not providing oversight, they need to be replaced. And that starts with Andrew Knack. That starts with also Mike Elliott, who's the public safety minister of Alberta. He's another very important voice to recognize. Mobilization. It's with you guys, man. It's with the youth. At the end of the day, it's going to be with you guys if the change comes or not.
Well, thank you so much. Was there anything else you kind of wanted to say to the Edmontonians that are pro-Palestinian?
So even if you're not pro-Palestinian and you are pro-Palestinian, I think the question that needs to be asked is what's best for Edmonton. And if your answer is Israel, I would challenge you on whether or not you understand the current situation in Edmonton and if you actually care about Edmontonians. 2, mobilization for rights is more important than anything right now, because at the end of the day, when they start taking our rights, that's when other things will start to creep in and it becomes decisive.
All right, well, thank you so much.
I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. I think that was